In the last lecture, you learned about this required validator, which is one of the built-in validators in Mongoose. In this lecture, we're going to have a closer look at these built-in validators. So this required property here, we can set that to a Boolean or a function that returns a Boolean. And this is useful when you want to conditionally make a property required or not. For example, let's imagine price is only required if the course is published. So let's add the required validator here. First, we replace number with an object, set the type here, back to number, and then set required. Here we need to pass a function, so a function, and in this function, we return a Boolean. So we return this to reference this course object, dot is published. So if is published is true, then price will be required, okay? Now here I need to clarify something. In this particular case, we cannot replace this function with an arrow function. In other words, if we do this, our validator will not work because arrow functions don't have their own this. They use the this value of the enclosing execution context. So in this particular case, there is a function somewhere in Mongoose that is going to call this function. This reference we have here will reference that function, not the course object we're dealing with here. So we need to revert this back to a regular function. Now, let's test this validation. So here's our course object. I'm going to remove the price, and you can see the course is published. So we should get 2 validation errors now. Back in the terminal. Let's run the application. Look, pass price is required and pass name is also required. Now later I will show you how to get individual error messages from this exception. For now, we're just getting the message as a simple string. So this is our required validator. We can set that to a simple Boolean or a function to conditionally make a property required. Now, depending on the type of properties we have here, we have additional built-in validators. For example, with strings, we also have min length and max length. Let me show you. So I'm going to break this down. Here we add min length. Let's say we want to make sure at least we have 5 characters here. We can also set max length. Let's say 255 characters. We also have match. And here we can pass a regular expression. Now in this particular case, it doesn't make sense to apply a regular expression on the name of a course. So I'm going to comment this out. Another useful validator we have for strings is enum. So I'm going to create another property here. Let's call that category. And set the type to string. Now here, we can use the enum validator. We set this to an array of valid strings. So let's say we have a few predefined categories: web, mobile, network, and so on. So when creating a course, the category we set should be one of these values. Otherwise, we're going to get a validation error. So let me make this required. Now back to our course object. Let's add the category, and I'm going to set this to just a dash. Now let's bring the name back in as well as the price so we can only see the validation error for the category. So back in the terminal, node index.js. So look, category dash is not a valid enum value for pass category. So these are the validators specific to strings. We have min length, max length, match for using a regular expression, and enum. For numbers, we have min and max. So here, price is a number. We can set a min of $10 and a max of $200. And we also have these 2 validators for dates. In the next lecture, you're going to learn about custom validators.